what is happening, all you crazy internet people, and welcome to yet another vlog. My name, as always, is Drake, and today we are talking about React World. Oh yes, React World. So the story behind React World, if you haven't heard about it or you haven't heard, basically the Fine Brothers of Fine Brothers Entertainment, who are responsible for the React channel as well as the Fine Brothers channel here on YouTube, announced something called React World, which is basically a means through which creators could license the Fine Brothers format. Something of importance in this discussion, brands such as Elders React, Teens React, Kids React, and basically in return they receive some brand support and promotion. So in addition, the Fine Brothers applied for trademarks on Elders React, Kids React, Teens React, and perhaps most importantly, React. Just the word React. They applied for a trademark on React. Now with that said, the internet grabs their torches and their pitchforks, and in the truest of internet fashions, we go after their heads. And then the Fine Brothers post a update video attempting to correct the misconceptions, as I believe they referred to it in the video, regarding React World. They were basically trying to save their ass. The internet isn't really sold on the corrections, so the internet isn't really backing down. You know, everybody's still angry at the Fine Brothers. They're losing subscribers by the minute. And finally, the Fine Brothers decide to end React World and cancel those trademark applications. So as a fellow content creator on YouTube, I had a few thoughts about this. First off, the Fine Brothers have no right to take ownership of basically the entire category of React videos. You know, they were basically talking about their format, but they never specify that, which I'll get into in a second. But it was implied that they were basically taking ownership of React videos by starting React World. Now, they will fight against this point, but they're essentially, by trademarking React, they're making sure that you wouldn't be able to put something like React in the title of your video. Like, I wouldn't be able to say, Drake reacts to the Fine Brothers, because that would be their brand name, like legally recognized their brand name, and as part of getting that granted to them, they basically have to fight off anybody who uses their brand name or their brand imagery, which is a big deal. I say the Fine Brothers don't have any right to take ownership of basically this entire category of videos because they aren't the first people to make reaction videos. There were reaction videos long before the Fine Brothers, long before they were a name on YouTube. Long before perhaps even YouTube. I mean, they might have been around in the MySpace days, or perhaps even further beyond that. They only have helped popularize this category of videos alongside other channels like BuzzFeed's channels. They did not create React videos, therefore they should not have a right to own the brand, the category, if you will. It's as if I walked into, say, the office of some corporation, let's say Wendy's, because that's the first brand name that came to mind. Let's say I walk into their office and say, hey, Wendy's is mine now. That's my trademark. You can't have it. Stop making burgers. Stop everything. Now, what I've just described isn't a perfect legal situation in terms of what I'm trying to demonstrate, but I think you get the idea that it's a bit absurd for somebody to just assume ownership of something that they do not own. Now, coming back to that point about the format. The Fine Brothers were very careful about describing their format in that they didn't really describe what defines their format, which would essentially be covered under the React brand. What is the format? For all we know, the format could be something as simple as humans just genuinely reacting to things that they're being shown or experiencing, or it could be something as specific as people sitting in front of computers on a set reacting to something being shown to them on that computer with a specific type of music and a specific graphic set. The concept of the format as the Fine Brothers described it is just so vague that it's impossible to know unless you were to read up on what the format is, possibly on their website. I don't know if they ever described it on their website, or if it would be something that you learn about after you get into licensing, you know, kind of like a secret sauce of sorts. And finally, and most importantly, I think by attempting to own a category of videos, the Fine Brothers are encouraging other businesses and corporations to basically attempt the same thing. Take ownership of ideas, concepts, kind of these abstract things that would make it very hard as a creator to make content. You know, I don't want to have to worry about whether or not I'm infringing somebody's format by making a video like this. I mean, this is a pretty standard format for a vlog where basically I'm sitting in front of a camera talking to you guys. If somebody were to take ownership of that legally, how am I supposed to communicate with you guys in a meaningful way? It makes it very hard to be creative and expressive, and that's something that I really value with the creative community, is that we can be very expressive in our works. Simply, you know, in this case, that you guys can see me as I'm talking. And it's disturbing to think that if the Fine Brothers were to actually go through with this and basically set a precedent that that sort of thing is okay, other businesses and more likely corporations would be doing the same things and making it very, very hard for the creative community to do what they do best, and essentially ruin that creative spark that makes communities like YouTube so amazing. So that's all I'm going to say about React World. Now let's move on to something a little bit lighter. So if you didn't notice, I had a bit of a break in my regular scheduled programming. You know, I didn't put out any vlogs, I didn't put out any gaming videos. I was just kind of absent here on YouTube for a little bit, and that is because I was sick, and I sounded like death. I had, I guess, an upper respiratory of sorts, and it really upset me because I really wanted to make videos over the course that I was sick, and then I didn't get to it, and then I felt bad about you guys because you guys didn't get any new content. I'm glad I held off because I tried to make this video last week and it just did not work. I was trying to push through, be strong about it, but especially when I was talking about the Fine Brothers thing, when, you know, I kind of had a bit of passion in my voice, I was just hurting myself to the point where, like, I was in coughing fits while I was shooting, and it was just not pretty. So I had to sit myself down and go, okay, you can wait until next week, it'll be fine, just rest up, drink some fluids. While I was making the kind of updated itinerary for this week, I decided to put together a list of a few things to do when you are sick so you can take care of yourself, because that is absolutely important. I think this time around especially, I really tried to take care of myself, and I feel that it really helped me to get better and feel better so I could be sitting in front of this camera today. Alright, so let's tackle this list. First things first, rest up. It is very important that you rest up, because if you do not rest up, you are going to have a bad time. It's going to take a long time to recover, and you will just feel like crap for that entire time, because your body needs an opportunity to rest to fight off what's going on inside you, because there's basically a little war going on inside of you, and your body needs the energy to fight it. So you can't be getting on the treadmill and running for 5 miles or anything like that. You need to get in your pajamas, crawl into bed, be a happy, warm burrito of awesomeness, and rest. Next up, drink fluids. I totally recommend tea or water, especially like a lemon tea or green tea, you know, something that's going to help you feel good and taste good as well. Next up, stay home even if you have school or work. Maybe you're not able to stay home from work or school for an entire week or anything like that, but at least take a day or two to allow yourself to rest, because when you put yourself into that work or school environment, you're putting yourself into a stressful environment, and stress does not help whatsoever with fighting off an illness. Wash your hands, you germ factory. You might be touching your face or your nose or whatever the case may be. You have been around yourself. You're germy. Nobody else wants your germs, so please, please, please wash your hands so you don't spread as many germs, because let's face it, there's really no reality in which we can spread no germs. If we can reduce the number of germs that we spread, less people get sick, and that is better. Steamy showers are great. Crank up the heat a little bit, maybe a little bit beyond what you're used to. Let that steam go. breathe in, breathe out, repeat, because that steam will help you clear your nasal passage and you will feel fantastic by the end of that shower. Finally, go to the doctor if necessary. Go to the doctor if you're feeling like, decently sick. Like if it's something that you can't deal with yourself, go to the doctor, see what the doctor says. It might be something that isn't like a common cold or a flu, something that might need a doctor's attention, or at least a doctor to analyze what's going on and perhaps recognize a more custom path to resolving that illness. So if you want more tips like this, I have the link to the article I pulled from in the description. Check them out. They seem to be pretty cool over there at How to Grow the Fuck Up. And I am probably going to read their blog after I get finished editing this video. Now usually I have 3 big topics I talk about, but today I'm only going to have 2. I think tomorrow might be a fun day to do a cooking video of sorts. I have avocados, I've got onions, I have jalapenos, I've got ingredients, let's just put it that way, and I am planning on making chipotle guacamole from their own recipe. So I thought it might be fun to make chipotle guac for you guys, especially since apparently it's now a trend to no longer eat chipotle and to make chipotle food at home because you don't want chipotle, which is kind of a conflict in itself. So I'll throw together a video of that for you guys if I can, and hopefully you guys get to see that. So that about does it for us today. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like up this video. If you really want to keep up with me, subscribe. That is awesome, and I will love you for that. And if you have any feedback whatsoever, please do leave a comment below. So thanks for watching, and I hope you will tune in for the next video.